spectacular fire burns down an historic paper mill. Why determining the cause is so dangerous.
Rain making for a wet drive home from work today and show you when it moves out, where we might be dealing with some icy spots by tomorrow morning.
Police raid Justin Bieber's California mansion and find cocaine inside.
And a devastating diagnosis. A Massachusetts couple moving up their wedding.
I just want to spend every minute taking care of him and being with him. It's just really hard.
Now the community and total strangers are working together to make their dream come true.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 5 starts right now.
It's raining, it's pouring, which means your commute home will not be boring. Mobile 4 out on the wet roads, driving westbound on the Pike right now, just past the Alston-Brighton tolls. You can see it's very crowded and slow. And take a look at the radar. The rain's expected to last several more hours this evening. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for being with us. I'm Paula Evans.
And I'm Jonathan Elias. Good to have you along this evening. Soaking rain's falling right now across our area. Our chief meteorologist, Eric Fisher, is here now with a first look at your AccuWeather forecast. Eric?
Hey there, Jonathan, Paula. Good evening, everybody. You know, this time of year you think snowstorm. Well, it is all mild air this time around, and we are socked in with the rain. You notice that goes all the way up across the state of Maine, only the highest mountain peaks looking at snowflakes with this particular system. Metro Boston down toward the Cape, even all the way to western Massachusetts. Everyone under the green on the radar, which means we're all dealing with the rainfall. There are some moderate pockets in here with low visibility mixing in with that rain. It's going to be a slow drive home for a lot of people. So if someone's coming back home from work, you're expecting them for dinner, it might be at 20 or 30 minutes later. Quarter-mile visibility in Nashua, half-mile in Boston, three-quarters of a mile in Lawrence. So again, pockets where you're really going to have to slow down the speed this evening before that rain moves out. Time it for you as we head through the evening hours by 8 p.m. Still dealing with the showers, especially in eastern parts of the state. By the time we head toward 9 p.m., starting to break apart a little bit. By the time we get toward 11, the last of the showers should be working their way out into the ocean and will clear out after that. But one thing we'll watch overnight, some icy spots and also some fog that should be developing as we head toward tomorrow morning. Overall temperatures back toward the freezing mark. How about tomorrow? What will that bring? We'll talk about it coming up in just a little bit. Paula?
See that, Eric. Thank you. Breaking news right now in Hull. A big water main break on Nantasket Avenue, right near the intersection of 5th Street and Monument, causing big traffic delays. Take a look at the size of that. Emergency workers are on the scene. If you live in Hull, you may have low water pressure over the next 6 to 8 hours. Jonathan?
Well, Paula, tonight fire investigators are still trying to figure out what sparked this massive fire at an abandoned paper mill in Lawrence. Flames tore through the building, which had been empty for more than 8 years. As Ken McLeod shows us, the mayor admits his city didn't get after the mill's recent owners like it should have.
George Lavisseur stopped for a long look at the smoldering mill this afternoon, having worked here 50 years ago.
It's an old historic building, and there's not too much left in Lawrence, and we want to keep what we have.
Yesterday's spectacular 5-alarm blaze at the old Merrimack Paper Company was the latest and largest in a string of fires since the 19th century mill shut down in 2005. In the years that followed, the new mayor here admits his city failed to crack down on the building's owners.
We have a lot of tools in our toolbox to make property owners do what they're supposed to do. And if we don't do it, shame on us.
Current owner David Padalaro returned to the scene today to talk with arson investigators. The ex-cop bought the mill for $1 after several redevelopment plans tanked, and the previous owner was scrambling to dodge $4 million in back taxes on the place.
We have to learn how to better manage these types of properties. City government can't be taken as dupes when it comes to stuff like this.
Padalaro told us he wasn't ready to talk about such things yet, but did see a man fleeing the mill site shortly before the fast-moving flames were spotted. Investigators have collected surveillance video from nearby buildings, but the fire chief was hesitant to run with that.
Suspicious carries overtones, and I'm not saying that it's suspicious, so I think questionable is better.
The mayor says the owners of other decaying mills can expect a more aggressive city review in the months to come.
We're going to look into the eminent domain and making sure that we clear the way for positive and productive growth.
With the walls of the place so unstable, the fire chief says it's really not safe for investigators to venture too far inside, and he'd like to get the wrecking ball out here sooner rather than later. In Lawrence, Ken McLeod, WBZ News.
Now, that mill was built in the 1860s. Mayor Rivera says the developers have done remarkable things with some of the city's old mills, just not that one.
Gunfire at a New Mexico middle school. 2 students were hit and rushed to the hospital. Jack Williams is here now with late-breaking details. Jack?
Hard to believe, Paula, but this happened again, and this time the victims are a 14-year-old boy and a 13-year-old girl. By the way, police have arrested a 14-year-old classmate. The shooting happened at the start of the school day in Roswell, New Mexico. The wounded boy is in critical condition. Paramedics airlifted him to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. The girl is in serious condition. Well, witnesses say the shooter pulled a gun out of a musical instrument case and shot the two kids. He then fired a shot into the air and dropped the gun. A teacher grabbed the teen and held him until state police came.
Please keep them in your prayers and everyone else who observed and witnessed this and was a part of helping make it stop.
Students were bused to a nearby mall and finally picked up by their families. Well, police say they don't have a motive yet, but say it appears the boy who was shot was the intended target. Jonathan.
All right, Jack, thanks. A carbon monoxide scare inside of a Reading elementary school. The CO alarm went off inside Barrow Elementary. The school was evacuated. Police officers walked the students to the nearby high school. Now, no one was hurt, and investigators are trying to figure out what caused that alarm to go off. And state police hope these surveillance pictures will help them find the person who torched a Lynn bar. Look closely, because investigators say just before closing on December 20th, a man wearing a gray hoodie and a dark baseball cap got into some kind of argument with somebody inside the Players Sports Bar. It was 30 minutes after closing. A man matching that same description threw 2 Molotov cocktails at the building. If you recognize this guy right here, state police would like to hear from you.
A plea tonight from the mother of a 9-year-old boy who was killed by his father during a supervised visit. She's urging New Hampshire lawmakers to designate domestic violence as a crime. Supporters say that designation could save lives. New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield's live in Manchester tonight. Michael?
Paula, this is Senate Bill 318. It has to do with domestic violence, and it comes in the wake of a very high-profile and disturbing case. Becky Rames comforted by supporters moments after speaking publicly about the death of her son for the first time.
He was my pride and joy. Words cannot express how much I miss him, but today I speak for Joshua.
Her son, Joshua Savion, just 9 years old, was shot and killed by his father, Muni Savion, during a supervised visit at the YWCA in Manchester last summer.
I am here today because I am a survivor of domestic violence, but the real reason I am here is that my son, Joshua, is not.
Raines testified today in Concord in support of a bill that would make domestic violence a crime. Right now, defendants in domestic violence type cases are charged with various crimes like assault, and supporters of the bill say that needs to change.
There's 2 reasons that's important. First, it will help law enforcement and courts respond more effectively to these cases, but also it will help victims recognize that what has happened to them is a crime and that help is available.
Nobody knows if a law like this would have saved Joshua's life.
My hope is that if what happened in my family makes people take a closer look at how we handle these situations, then some good will come out of this, and Joshua will live on in spirit by helping others who are suffering this silent crime.
Supporters of the bill hope it will be called Joshua's Law, and they'd like to see the New Hampshire House and Senate pass it by the end of this year. Live in Manchester, New Hampshire tonight, Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News. Jonathan?
Michael, thank you. Boston Marathon bombing survivors and victims' families will soon have more financial help. The Justice Department announced an $8.3 million grant to help survivors, witnesses, and first responders who suffered physical and emotional injuries. The money will go to organizations that provide support.
WBZ is your official Patriot station, and the excitement is building ahead of Sunday's AFC Championship game in Denver.
Pats fans all across New England are sure that their team is going to go out to Denver and beat up on the Broncos, and then go to the Super Bowl. Steve Burton is live with the CBS team in Foxborough tonight. They got a lot of confidence, and for good reason. The Pats have been playing great football.
Yeah, they have, and for that matter, so is Denver, so we shall see. No practice for the Pats today. They go back to work tomorrow as they gear up for the AFC Championship game on Sunday in Denver. This will be the Patriots' 8th AFC Championship game since 2001. 8. Patriots, by the way, they don't rebuild. They just reload on the fly. They have the system down. And one of the secrets to their success, finding diamonds in the rough, undrafted free agents who slipped through the cracks. This year, they got big contributions from defensive lineman Joe Milano and Chris Jones, wideout Kimbrough Tompkins, and punter Ryan Allen. Bill Belichick isn't afraid to play these types of kids over high draft picks.
It's much more important what they do when they get here than what road they took to get here. It's competitive. The guys who perform the best actually get the roster spots that we're going to play. And there's nobody that has any free pass or, entitlement to anything. That it has to be earned, and the guys that earn it are the guys that get it.
Well, WBZ will have it all on Sunday, starting with a special 90-minute edition of Patriots Game Day at 11:30. Pats and Broncos kickoff at 3, followed by the fifth quarter post-game show, all here on WBZ. Now, coming up at 5:30, by the way, former Patriot captain Matt Light will join me right here at CBS Scene to break down Sunday's AFC Championship game. Should be pretty special. Paul and Jonathan, back to you.
Such a good guy. All right, Steve, thanks very much. And stay with WBZ for continuing coverage of the AFC Championship. Our Dan Roach is heading to Denver. Watch for his live reports starting tomorrow night at 5. Also, check out our website. There you'll find a matchup breakdown, the history of Brady versus Manning. You can also share your Patriots fan photos and get a list of the best places to watch the game. It's all online at cbsboston.com.
Today, a final farewell to an honorary member of the Patriots. 17-year-old Sam Burns had progeria. It is a rare condition that speeds up the aging process. As WBZ Radio's Kim Tunnicliffe reports, the community will miss the teen's positive attitude.
Half the student population at Foxborough High attended the funeral for Sam Burns, along with hundreds of mourners who packed into Temple, Israel, here in Sharon. The 17-year-old died on Friday from the rare disease progeria, which speeds up the aging process in children. Liza Morris from the Progeria Research Foundation attended Burns' funeral. She's known Sam since he was a young boy.
Sam had a number of life philosophies that he shared in his TEDx Mid-Atlantic talk. And one of those was keep moving forward. So I think that we need to keep moving forward with research for progeria, with all of our lives, with celebrating Sam. And that's something that I'll be remembering today.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft also attended the funeral. He formed a special bond with Burns after learning that Sam was a big Patriots fan. Kim Tunnicliffe, WBZ News Radio 1030.
And in addition to being a Patriots fan, Sam was also a very big Bruins fan. And the Black and Gold plan to honor him before tonight's game at the Garden.
Ready to ride. Coming up, a local cancer survivor is preparing to take on the grueling Pan Mass Challenge.
Plus, preparing for winter's worst. Tens of millions of dollars heading to cities and towns to protect them from Mother Nature.
And a former police officer facing murder charges in Florida. Why he says he shot another man inside a movie theater.
Closed captioning is brought to you by Massachusetts Community Colleges. Transforming your world. Visit masscc.org/transform.
Circle Furniture for real life. Comfort, color, style, and fun. Make your home even more beautiful with cozy upholstery and classic hardwood furniture. Come in now during our January sale. Circle Furniture, made for real life.
I like the way you move. I like the way you give me so much fun.
The Subaru Forester was named Motor Trend's 2014 Sport Utility of the Year and was awarded Top Safety Pick Plus. Drive home a brand new Subaru Forester, well equipped at $21,995. Seize the day. Sleepy's one-day mattress sale is tomorrow. Preview the sale today and save up to 70% off select Sealy, Serta, and Beauty Rest mattresses. Get a Sealy Queen Plush set starting at just $199. Plus, save up to $300 on Tempur-Pedic closeouts while supplies last. Sleepy's has the largest selection of mattresses anywhere. So shop our one-day sale tomorrow at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals, making the world a better place to sleep.
Me, I just moved here from out of state, so it seemed like the right time.
I spent a lot of time finding the right car. Then I called Amica for the best car insurance. Who chooses Amica for car insurance? People who call for a great price and discover an exceptional value.
So we just got married, and now we have to decide whose car insurance we're going to keep.
There's no way I'm leaving Amica.
I know.
I'm not.
She's not.
Me? I have a new house, so I saved a lot of money by getting auto and home insurance when I called Amica.
And their life insurance is really affordable too.
Saving money is a good reason to call Amica for a free auto insurance quote.
Me, I think when you compare the coverage, the service, the price, and our financial strength, you can't make a better call.
And when you call, you always talk directly to Amica. There's nobody in the middle.
Go online or call for your free, no-obligation quote. It's fast and easy.
We're ready for your call right now.
Hughes Furniture for every room in your home. Come in now during our January sale. Circle Furniture, made for real life.
A retired Florida police captain is behind bars tonight after killing another man at a movie theater. 71-year-old Curtis Rivas faced a judge near Tampa this afternoon. Police say that Rivas shot a 43-year-old man in the chest, killing him. Rivas told police that he asked that man to stop texting before the movie. Actually, it was during the previews of the movie, and then says the man threw popcorn at him.
The alleged victim attacked him, struck him with an object, which resulted in the gunfire.
It may or may not have been popcorn, but an unknown object doesn't equal taking out a gun and firing it at somebody's chest.
Prosecutors now have charged Rivas with second-degree murder. If convicted, he could face life behind bars.
Here's proof that distracted driving is dangerous. Take a look at this dash cam video from a police cruiser in Fort Myers, Florida. You'll see the driver here goes from the left lane across all the other lanes, then crashes and flips over here. The driver luckily wasn't hurt, but he told the officer he'd been texting and he wasn't paying attention to the road.
Oh boy, if you needed another example of that, you see it every day. You know, people are just not paying attention.
It's so easy to do. You know, it is.
Just
For
put the phone
everything
down.
now, you're sitting at a stop sign and you're just like, come on, you can look into the car in front of you and you see them looking straight down. They've got
all you got to remember is the results of that. Just, it's not worth it, you know?
And especially on a night like this where it's raining, we got a lot of company on the road here. We got Mobile 4 heading westbound on the Mass Pike, Eric, because, you know, a lot of that melting snow and ice is in the drains, and you add this rain, there's going to be a lot of pooling, a lot of puddling to get through.
Well, it's going to be a slow drive home for a lot of people, that's for sure. Here, a lot of guys and gals calling saying, honey, I'm going to be a little bit late for dinner, so keep it warm for me. I think we'll probably add a good 15 to 30 minutes in the commute. Not just the rain, but the low visibility. That's going to be an issue out there for tonight. Let's take a look at some of the rain totals so far. You know, not pouring rain today. It was just great. Good nap day, I think, for a lot of folks. Most of us not fortunate enough to sneak a nap in, but looking at a quarter-inch of total rainfall. Places like Natick and Concord. Gardner also coming in about a quarter of an inch. We'll be adding to this throughout the evening. The heaviest totals are likely going to end up being across the southeastern parts of the state. So we look at the big picture. We've got our front on the east coast. It's all mild there with this one. A little vigorous area, low pressure right around Chicago. This is bringing a foot of snow to parts of Wisconsin for tonight. Snow, the farthest thing from our minds right now. It is all rain across New England, even up across northern Maine at this hour. Heaviest rainfall, Boston area, right down 128 and over toward the Cape. Route 6 going to be a very slow go. You notice some of those yellow showing up in the radar. That's a moderate to heavier rain that's mixing in with some fog, and that's what's really going to slow everybody down. Got a quarter-mile visibility in Nashville as well as Concord. Boston at a half mile. Chatham's down to about 1. Bottom line is, for the next several hours, if you're heading out on the roads, you're going to have to take it a little bit slower than average. Temperatures still in the 40s, though, by 8 p.m. Still looking at the showers and the fog. By the time we get around to 11 o'clock, the rain probably gone. The last of the showers will just be scooting out to sea. Still some fog to deal with. That will continue through the overnight, and temperatures down to about 32 on the average by tomorrow morning. So we will watch for some icing potential. The biggest threat of that would be north and west of Boston, around Fitchburg, north central Mass, into southern New Hampshire, maybe into Worcester, down to 31 degrees by tomorrow morning. So be very careful. It'll be quite slick during the late night hours and the early morning hours before the sun comes up for our Wednesday. So we'll watch the early fog and the icy spot. Sunrise at 7:11. Temperatures in the 30s to start the day off. Really not bad all told for this time of year. Another nice afternoon. 45 degrees at midday. We'll stay in the mid to upper 40s during the afternoon. Fall back a little bit by the commute. Some increase in clouds late tomorrow, but otherwise a fine day to be outside. We look at what changes as we head into Thursday. The next storm comes up the coast, just close enough to maybe give us a couple rain showers. It's largely a miss, so most of us are dry on Thursday as well as on Friday. The next storm we watch is on Saturday, maybe close enough for some snow. We'll talk about that next half hour. Jonathan?
All right, Eric, thanks. It is a huge weekend for people working to fight all kinds of cancers. Registration opens tomorrow for the Pan Mass Challenge, which is a premier fundraising bike-a-thon, and WBZ is very proud to be the official media partner of the PMC.
Thousands of riders and volunteers are going to sign up, all determined to support patient care and life-saving research at Boston's Dana-Farber Cancer Institute through the Jimmy Fund. And one of those riders is a teenager who knows firsthand just how much it can help.
I was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia in January of 2010. I went through 2 years of intensive treatments.
17-year-old Helen Monty of Lincoln is doing great today and will ride in the Pan Mass Challenge as part of a team that formed to support her and her family when she was sick. I love the name.
My team is called Team Monty Python and the Flying Cyclists.
Because her last name is
Monty.
This will be the team's 5th PMC and Helen's 2nd.
I really wanted to give back to all of the organizations that helped me beat cancer.
The Monty Pythons will join the tens of thousands of riders and volunteers who've made the PMC such a success over 35 years. More than $400 million have gone to Dana-Farber to help patients and develop new treatments.
Having gone through treatments myself, and I know that these medicines are really expensive and they take a lot of time to create and, perfect so that, the patients are getting the right kinds of medicine, they're getting well. That's a PMC button right there.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Another patient who's gotten well is 8-year-old Jack Christensen from Nashua. He's just finished 2 years of treatment at Dana-Farber for the same cancer Helen suffered from.
Want to play a game?
Yeah. Jack is the Monty Python's pedal partner, the face of the illness the team will hold in their heads and hearts as they ride for as long as 190 miles.
He just makes everybody smile, and he makes them laugh, and I think it's important that he's part of this. I'm positive he would not be in remission without the money that's raised for the research and the spirit of the riders.
That spirit will get Helen and the Monty Pythons across the finish line.
When my friends ask me, what is the PMC? I say it's a great fundraiser, very close to my heart, and you should support it.
What a lovely girl. Since 2010, the Monty Pythons have raised more than $200,000 to fight cancer. Now, open registration for the Pan Mass Challenge begins tomorrow. To sign up or to learn more about the event, just go to cbsboston.com.
It was a great event, too. Well, a Marshfield couple is in the middle of their own cancer fight, one that forced them to move up their wedding date.
How the generosity of strangers will give them a day to remember.
And also ahead, passing off untrained dogs as service animals. It is happening more often than you think. Why this puts everyone at risk. Now here's Jack Williams with a look at what's coming up at 6. Hey, Jack.
All right, Jonathan Paula, thank you. Prosecutors say their family business was fraud. Coming up new on our 6 o'clock news, people who lost millions in an investment scam confront the man they trusted with their money. And 2 tickets to the AFC Championship game for $40 each. At 6 o'clock, the fan who scored those dream tickets and the trouble he had to go through to make that dream come true.
I'm Brady in the Pats. Team Manning and the Broncos. The AFC Championship. Sunday at 3 on WBZ. Your home for the Patriots.
Get ready for a tournament 30 years in the making. Jeopardy champions from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s return to compete for $1 million. Jeopardy! Battle of the Decades. It all starts this February.
Even when you're in aisle 4, you're never far from home. With Xfinity Home, you can arm your security system, adjust your thermostat, and make sure your kids get home safely. All while you stock up the house. Simplify your life with the total home security and control solution. Plus, get 24/7 professional monitoring. Xfinity Triple Play subscribers. Now you can add Xfinity Home for only $29.95 a month for 2 years and save over $200. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
One is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1.
Running low? Then it's the perfect time for Stop & Shop's gigantic stock-up sale. Save on thousands of real deals, 10 for 10 offers, and buy one get one free deals. So shop big, save big during Stop & Shop's gigantic stock-up sale.
It's been said you have to cross an ocean to find a vehicle with safety, reliability, and quality. The bar may have been set over there, but when it comes to raising it, we'll take it from here. The awarded Chrysler lineup. Get a low-mileage lease on 200 limited sedan for $149 a month for well-qualified lessees or $4,500 total cash allowance.
people who really need them, and as you know, they are allowed to go anywhere.
But as our chief correspondent Joe Shortsleeve explains, the owners of some untrained dogs are taking advantage of the system.
Hey, Rudy.
Intensive training for Rhodey to become Benjamin Menz's service dog. Their bond is already tight, something Benjamin cherishes after losing both his legs in an explosion.
It's very comforting knowing that I have somebody like, or like a dog like Rhodey that's got my back and I got his back.
Good boy.
All of these dogs at Needs in Princeton are learning to perform daily tasks for their human friends.
How intense is the training?
It's amazing. It goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And really only about 50% of our dogs actually make it through the program to become an assistance dog.
Not only are these dogs trained to help around the house, they also have to be able to move through crowds calmly. They're a lot different than dogs you see at the park, but there's an explosion of fake credentials and marked capes available on the internet to make any dog look like a well-trained assistance dog.
What's your reaction to that, whole industry?
I'd say it's infuriating. I would equate it very much to a handicapped parking space. People need to register and get a placard for their car, but you don't have that same kind of registration for an assistance dog. There is no standard across the United States.
To test the system, this retired police officer outfitted a dog in fake apparel and went to the movies and then a restaurant. Another woman was able to shop without question at a Target and a grocery store.
So why would someone buy these fake badges and IDs? In some cases, it's simply about getting to the front of the line.
This site promises to dramatically speed up your process of getting through airport security, entering stores without arguments or confrontations. John Moon, program director at Needs, says these imposter dogs can be a threat to everyone.
It also puts other people in the store at risk by an untrained dog that might bite or nip or be out of control.
Benjamin worries about the public becoming desensitized to people who really need dogs like Rhodey.
It gives us a lot more, hoops that we have to jump through to prove that ours are actual certified dogs and that we actually went through the training to be able to handle them.
An online petition is gathering signatures to get the Department of Justice to adopt national standards. In the meantime, it's an honor system that's lacking honor. Joe Shortsleeve, WBZ News.
Well, this is a first for First Ladies. Michelle Obama's second inaugural gown is now on display at the Smithsonian. This Jason Wu design gown is part of the Smithsonian's First Ladies exhibition, and this is the first time the Smithsonian has shown a second-term inaugural gown. Most go on display in the presidential libraries.
A family researching their ancestry gets an unexpected shock.
An employee at a fertility clinic may have fathered their child. The twist no one expected. Still ahead.
Plus, staying safe on the roads. How a new helmet could make the difference for motorcyclists everywhere.
Wild ocean storms, crazy weather swings. The state says we're at war with global climate change. Why a top local expert says, not so fast.
Informative, arresting, level-headed in a time of crisis. For excellence in live coverage of major breaking news, WBZ is proud to receive the DuPont Columbia Award. WBZ News, television journalism at its very best.
At CBS News, we only do one thing: original reporting on the Emmy Award-winning CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley.
Today's weather on WBZ is brought to you by your New England Chevy dealers.
When you're merging onto US, cover your ears. You want a truck that helps keep the outside out.
Chevy Silverado delivers a quiet cab that's second to nobody in its class. And by nobody, I mean Ram and Ford. Put Silverado to the test. It's Silverado versus all.
Now, current GM owners trade up to the Silverado All-Star V6 for a total value of $5,000. See your local Chevy dealer.
After my heart attack, I looked at life differently.
So we had a talk with our doctor.
He told us about a clinical research study that's evaluating investigational medication to see if it may help people reduce the risk of having another heart attack or stroke.
It investigates a different approach to reducing bad cholesterol levels.
If you've had a heart attack, stroke, or have peripheral arterial disease, see if you may qualify for the Heart Research Study. Call 888-45-STUDY or visit heartresearchstudy.com.
Tonight's primetime lineup is brought to you by the state of Utah, home of the greatest snow on earth.
Seize the day. Sleepy's one-day mattress sale is tomorrow. Preview the sale today and save up to 70% off select Sealy, Serta, and Beauty Rest mattresses. Only at Sleepy's, the mattress professionals, making the world a better place to sleep.
Sample 1,800 wines from around the world. Savor food from Boston's most popular chefs. The 2014 Boston Wine Expo. Bigger and bolder than ever. February 15th and 16th at the Seaport World Trade Center. Buy tickets at wineexpoboston.com.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen, leading to radar, forever providing early warnings and safer journeys. The conviction to create a safer journey is the Mazda way. The Mazda 6 uses radar, lasers, and sensors to detect objects and even apply the brakes for you. Introducing the modern sports sedan, the Mazda 6. What do you drive?
Breaking news at 5:30 and the tragic death of two Franklin children who suffocated in a hope chest. Investigators have determined that chest, like this one, was indeed a part of a huge recall issued back in 1996 by the Lane Furniture Company. The chest in question was manufactured back in 1939. The recall involves 12 million hope chests between the years of 1912 and 1987. Lexi and Sean Monroe were trapped inside the chest, and they suffocated. Autopsy results will be released at a later date.
Also tonight, the fire chief in Lawrence calls the raging fire that ripped through that abandoned paper mill questionable. The building's been empty for years, and tonight emergency crews are trying to figure out when they'll tear down that burned-out building.
And fighting climate change. Governor Patrick just announced a $50 million plan that he says will prepare the state for the environmental challenges ahead. The proposal focuses on public health, energy, transportation, and basic infrastructure.
$40 million will go to help cities and towns shore up power supply to keep the lights on. $10 million will be earmarked for the coast to protect it from rising sea levels.
Sea level rise between 1 and 6 feet would put thousands of lives and nearly $500 million worth of assets at risk in Boston alone.
Now, the governor's plan also calls for a state climatologist and the creation of a state climate preparedness website. But not everyone is on board with the governor's plan.
And that includes an MIT professor who is a leading international expert on climate change. Our John Keller takes us inside this debate.
We are experiencing stronger storms, more extreme temperatures.
The changes that have occurred due to global warming are too small to account for that.
Tropical storm Irene, superstorm Sandy, and a February nor'easter called Nemo.
Has nothing to do with global warming. It has to do with where we live.
The world's climate is changing, and human activity is contributing to that change. Massachusetts needs to be ready.
Professor Richard Lindzen says he endorses the idea of sensible preparedness, but he sees what he terms expedient catastrophism in the climate change horror stories of events like this one.
Global warming, climate change, all these things are just a dream come true for politicians. The opportunities for taxation, for policy, for control, for crony capitalism are just immense. You can see their eyes bulge.
It ought to be clear to everyone by now that we have to invest the ideas and the time and the money now.
Even many of the people who are supportive of global warming alone back off from catastrophism. It's the politicians and the green movement that like to portray catastrophe.
So the question is not whether we need to act. We're past that.
Well, there was an interesting moment at today's event when Governor Patrick appealed to FEMA to slow down its rollout of new flood maps prompted by Superstorm Sandy that have sent insurance costs soaring for local homeowners along the coast. Slow down is exactly what voices like Professor Lindzen are urging climate change activists to do. I'm John Keller, at large, WBZ News.
Interesting stuff there, John. You know, a big conversation we could talk about all day. If you want to talk a little bit about it, you know, you can always find me on Twitter, at Eric Fisher. I would love to talk to some of you. Let's take a look at what's going on up there tonight. We've got a lot of rain, of course. It's been a very wet afternoon. A couple interesting things here. You notice around Albany and here in Central Mass, Not exactly heavy rain, but wet snowflakes that are melting on their way down. That creates bright banding. This is actual heavy rain moving across southeastern parts of the state. So around the Vineyard, Nantucket, out of the Cape, and even into Metro Boston. It is a soaking drive home from work. We're going to track these showers through the evening, 8 p.m., still dealing with the rain, areas of fog, low visibility. As we get toward 9, 10, 11 o'clock, all this will be moving out to sea. We'll see some clearing as we head through the overnight. Now, in terms of winter temperatures, they will make a comeback, I promise, especially as we get toward next week and beyond. We'll track some of that coming up in about 15 minutes. Paula?
See you a bit. Eric, thanks. The Holy Cross women's basketball coach is back with the team tonight, reinstated after an investigation cleared him of verbal and physical abuse. Coach Bill Gibbons voluntarily stepped aside in October after a former student leveled accusations against him. The Holy Cross says a thorough investigation found no evidence that Gibbons abused the player in any way. He'll be back with the team for tomorrow night's game against Army.
Well, for a full decade, he was a key part of the Patriots' offense.
And even though Matt Light is retired from the game, he's still contributing to Patriots Nation. Let's get back to Steve Burton, who is at the CBS scene with Matt. Hey, guys.
Hey, Paul, yeah, still contributing. It looks like he can still play, too, so I'm not going to get in his way. But before we even talk about the matchup, you have a raffle going on with the enemy, Wes Welker. But let's talk about that for Sunday's game.
We do, and by the way, a guy that we all loved when he was here.
No question about it.
Still love him, and still doing his thing, but we teamed up with Welker, and we're going to provide one of these awesome raffle opportunities where we have 4 tickets to the game. They're his tickets. You're going to get all your airfare paid, and you're going to take 3 of your friends with you. Like I said, 4 tickets, man. That's hard to come by these days when you can't even buy them with your own, credit card.
Of course.
And then you're going to be staying at the Ritz. You're going to get spa treatment. You're going to eat at Elway's restaurant. And when it's all said and done, you're going to go to the game and afterwards hang out with Wes Welker.
You get to meet Wes. Win or lose, you get to meet Wes.
Win or lose. And I told him, I said, hey, man, we're going to be battling this thing out. I'm going to get a Boston area person to make it to that trip. Not one of your Denver guys. So we'll see what happens.
And for those that don't go, you're having a little party here?
We're going to be doing it at Toby Keith's, man.
Nice.
All raise money for the foundation.
All right, let's talk about this game. How do you see this game breaking down? And do you see the Patriots? Patriots aren't favored. First time they haven't been favored in a while.
Yeah, look, I think this team has something special about it. And for a team that, by the way, a lot of people said, who are these guys? Who are these young receivers? Who are these guys on defense? Who are these guys they're bringing in? I mean, you've seen these guys win some incredibly close games. You've seen them battle all these injuries and all these things. That will do nothing but serve them well.
How would you love to be blocking for LeGarrette Blount?
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, a guy that has literally solidified himself in the folklore of New England Patriots in 2 games. I love it.
Is this Belichick's best year of coaching?
Man, it's so hard to judge that. I mean, look at what he's dealt with. He's dealt with, individuals like me over his, time. He's dealt with all these unique people.
Right.
There's one thing that he's done really well this season, and that's get all those guys to buy into something that a lot of them have never even heard of.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to make a prediction for the AFC Championship game. Which, by the way, he's played in 6 of these things.
Yeah.
Make a prediction.
Yeah, a few of them. Look, they're going to win this game.
Okay.
But they got to come out the gate swinging really hard. The one thing I didn't like about last year's AFC Championship game right back here is the fact that other team, and I don't even like saying their name, they had a lot of passion when they hit the field. I felt like our guys lacked a little bit about that. They're not going to do that this time.
Message from Matt Light. So there you go. Paul Jonathan, that's the story here. Back to you.
Getting back in the lineup, Stevie. Thanks, man.
They're going to win this game. Love it. Thanks.
A police raid at Justin Bieber's home ends with one person in handcuffs. Coming up, what officers discovered inside.
And a growing scandal at a fertility lab. Did an employee substitute a client's sperm for his own?
Popular demand, the bug is back at Workout World. For 8 days only, join Workout World for just $1 and only $10 a month with no commitment. Right, Steve? Oh, but hers sale ends January 20th at midnight only at Workout World.
Let's make this clear. Toyota offers more vehicles with available all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive than any other brand. Period. Like the stylish winter-ready RAV4. A top safety pick, equipped with Toyota's most advanced all-wheel drive system. So see your New England Toyota dealer, your all-wheel drive specialist. Clear enough? Ask someone you know who drives an all-wheel drive Toyota.
Life is full of surprises, some good, some not so good. Don't get caught by surprise. Ask an independent agent about safety insurance enhanced coverage for auto, home, and business. Safety insurance will help you manage life's storms.
Diamonds, the Jewelry Exchange, is a direct diamond importer and producer. We have thousands of certified diamonds and guarantee the lowest price. Compare the top chain stores 1-carat solitaires for $3,900 with our certified solitaires for $1,990. 3/4-carat solitaires are $1,290, half-carat $690, and 1-carat studs are $599. The Jewelry Exchange has thousands of mountings, and your diamond is set while you watch. 3-stone semi-mounts are just $159. Buy diamond and factory direct. The Jewelry Exchange in Sudbury.
My dad has atrial fibrillation, or AFib. He has the most common kind. It's not caused by a heart valve problem. Dad, it says you're AFib, but you have 5 times greater risk of stroke.
That's why I take my warfarin every day.
But it looks like maybe we should ask your doctor about Pradaxa.
In a clinical trial, Pradaxa, dabigatran etexylate mesylate, was proven superior to warfarin at reducing the risk of stroke. And unlike warfarin, with no regular blood tests or dietary restrictions. Hey, thanks for calling my doctor.
Sure.
Pradaxa is not for people with artificial heart valves. Don't stop taking Pradaxa without talking to your doctor. Stopping increases your risk of stroke. Ask your doctor if you need to stop Pradaxa before surgery or a medical or dental procedure. Pradaxa can cause serious, sometimes fatal bleeding. Don't take Pradaxa if you have abnormal bleeding or have had a heart valve replaced. Seek immediate medical care for unexpected signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Pradaxa may increase your bleeding risk if you're 75 or older, have a bleeding condition or stomach ulcer, take aspirin, NSAIDs, or blood thinners, or if you have kidney problems, especially if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctors about all medicines you take. Pradaxa's side effects include indigestion, stomach pain, upset, or burning. If you or someone you love has AFib not caused by a heart valve problem, ask your doctor about reducing the risk of stroke with Pradaxa.
Due to popular demand, the bug is back at Workout World. For 8 days only, join Workout World for just $1 and only $10 a month with no commitment. Right, Steve? But hurry, sale ends January 20th at midnight only at Workout World.
Tonight, the University of Utah is investigating claims that an employee at a now closed fertility clinic with ties to the university may have switched a patient's sperm sample with his own.
Unbelievable. He is believed to have fathered at least 1 child, and as Big Band shows us, the family's now speaking out.
Annie Branham found out the man she's called Dad her entire life is not her biological father.
Everything that I thought I was, all of a sudden, I wasn't.
The discovery came after her mom, Pam, convinced the family to trace their ancestry through DNA tests. The results eventually led them to Annie's biological father, Tim Lippert, a former technician at the same Utah fertility clinic which helped the Branhams conceive Annie 21 years ago. Pam believes Lippert secretly switched her husband John's sperm sample with his own.
And when I let myself go there, that's a dark place. But we have this gorgeous daughter. I mean, I just can't imagine having, a better daughter. She's just everything that I dreamed of having.
The Branhams quickly learned Lippert was a convicted kidnapper who admitted to using electric shock therapy on a college student to try to make her fall in love with him. Lippert died 15 years ago. His widow, Jean, says he often threatened her life and says the allegations don't surprise her.
This is just another thing that gave him power.
John Branham says Annie will always be his little girl.
I love Annie. She's my daughter.
The family now wonders if Lippert may have fathered more children. Big CBS News.
The University of Utah paid the now closed fertility clinic to perform certain lab services. The school released a statement saying there are no remaining records from the facility to prove the family's claim, but they will offer free paternity tests to concerned families.
From a nightmare diagnosis to getting ready for a dream wedding. When we return, meet the local couple living every moment to the fullest.
A pretty slow evening drive out there. As rain comes down, it clears out, but we are watching a snow possibility for this weekend.
And as we head to break, a quick look at what's hot tonight on CBSBoston.com.
WBZ is your home for the Patriots in the AFC Championship. The only place to watch the Pats and the Broncos. Plus, complete coverage with Patriots game day.
The Pats are now going to the AFC Championship game.
5th quarter.
I think we got a locker full of believers.
All access. And sports final.
You can watch the latest chapter of this rivalry unfold right here on WBZ.
For exclusive Pats coverage throughout the playoffs, turn to WBZ, your home for the Patriots.
Circle Furniture for real life. Comfort, color, style, and fun. Make your
your home even more beautiful with cozy upholstery and classic hardwood furniture. Come in now during our January sale. Circle Furniture, made for real life.
Waiting for the right time to buy a hardwood floor? Well, check this out. One room of beautiful North American hardwood, completely installed for just $999. And this isn't just any hardwood, it's genuine Armstrong hardwood, the most trusted name in flooring. Call National Floors Direct at 888-400-FLOOR. Get an entire room of Armstrong hardwood installed the next day for just $999. A new floor can transform your home, and at just $999, the right time is now.
One ticket, 500 rides. The New England Auto Show, presented by Amica Insurance in the Boston Globe, January 16th to the 20th at the Boston Convention Center. Learn more at bostonautoshow.com.
You've got more tablets, smartphones, and laptops this season, so make sure you have the speed you need to power them all with America's fastest, most reliable internet. Upgrade to 100% fiber optic Verizon Fios, so you can stream smoother on more screens, download video even quicker, and game like never before. Start the new year right. Get the Fios Triple Play for just $79.99 a month online for the first year. Plus, get an incredible bonus, $300 back with a 2-year agreement. Or check out our no annual contract options. Last chance. Offer ends January 18th. Fios is 100% fiber optic, so you get unbeatable picture quality and America's fastest, most reliable internet for a more powerful experience on all your devices. It's your last chance to get the Fios Triple Play for this amazing price online. Just $79.99 a month guaranteed for the first year, plus a $300 bonus with a 2-year agreement. Hurry. Offer ends January 18th. Visit Verizon.com/great price today. Technology that makes your new toys more entertaining. That's powerful.
Whether you're looking to furnish an entire new bedroom or just need a new sofa or coffee table, Circle Furniture offers gorgeous furniture for every room in your home. Come in now during our January sale. Circle Furniture, made for real life.
Hey, Mrs. Yes, send that flow. Aren't you sweet? Licensed phone ups available 24/7. Call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Tonight, a Mansfield couple is putting a rush on their wedding day with help from some very generous strangers.
The couple was considering canceling their big day altogether after the groom was diagnosed with cancer. But as Christina Hager explains, the shocking news has only strengthened their commitment.
She's the woman of my dreams, so I want her to be my wife.
It's a big moment. Jennifer Brennan and Eric Denizart clutch hands.
Hi there. Hi, how are you?
The marriage license application, because a shocking cancer diagnosis has turned up the speed dial on their wedding schedule.
Yay.
They already sound married, finishing each other's sentences.
The first date. She's a little shy.
4 years later on a cruise, Eric seized a moment, the two of them alone with her 9-year-old son.
When I finally got her on deck, you know, the first minute she turned away, I got on the knee and proposed.
They planned an August 2014 wedding.
Then the doctor visit that would change both their lives. It was Eric who went in for a routine exam. The doctor found blood clots, then did a CT scan, and then a biopsy, and then the diagnosis. Pancreatic cancer. He had 6 months to a year left to live.
You finally get to a point where you're extremely happy with someone and you plan to spend the rest of your life doing the things that you want to do.
Friends rallied online through Facebook and GoFundMe, raising money and planning the wedding of their dreams.
I just want to spend every minute taking care of him.
Back at the clerk's office, when asked if they swear the information they gave on the marriage license is valid, Eric's answer, perfect.
I did, yeah.
A smile in the face of terminal illness, as if to redefine the concept of happily ever after.
It's just part of who he is, and I want to keep that piece of part of who he is with me.
In Mansfield, Christina Hager, WBZ News.
And their wedding day is in just 10 days, January 24th in Topsfield.
We wish them a congratulations, and hopefully that prognosis is wrong and he's going to have a long time.
Best wishes to them.
Yes. All right, let's talk about what's happening out on the roads. It's kind of a mess out there for folks trying to make the commute home. I mean, look at this. This is a live picture for you from our a Mobile 4 unit, and it's not very crowded, but at the same time, you don't want to go too quick because the roads are a little slick out there.
Okay, common sense kind of evening out there, right? You know, we've got the rain, it's going to be slower, there's fog as well, so slow your roll if you're out on the local roads in the next few hours before all this rain starts to move out and about. You know, I want to talk about something that kind of caught our eye today in the weather office. Has some ups and downs. Our meteorological winter starts on December 1st. We've had 10 days now of highs at 50 degrees or warmer. Conversely, we've had 10 days at 20 degrees or 30 degrees, in the teens rather, below 30 degrees. So we've had big peaks and we've had very deep valleys as well. Not a lot of in-between like what we saw during the fall. It was so stable, it seemed like every day. Today, certainly on the mild side, we've got rain all the way up into Canada. You have to head north of Caribou before you get into snowflakes with this one. Now, there are some wet flakes trying to mix in the highest elevations, the Green Mountains and the White Mountains, but we're more tracking the moderate rainfall that's moving across southern New England, and some heavier pockets, especially out on Cape Cod, the Vineyard, and Nantucket. This is where our biggest rain totals are going to be from this particular event before everything wraps up later on tonight. Our rain totals so far, these are just some preliminary ones that are coming in. Stoneham at 0.42 inches of rain, about a third of an inch in Hudson. Concord just about a quarter inch of rain. Again, I think there'll be some spots on the Cape and Islands. You'll see more than 1 inch of total rainfall from this. Of course, not much snow left anywhere across the state, so melting not a big issue with this one. Also some fog, quarter-mile visibility here right near New Hampshire-Massachusetts border, up across much of southern New Hampshire. If your travels take you in that direction, that will add on to your commute time, or if you're heading out to practice for the kids, some sporting events for tonight, that will be something to watch. We track it out throughout the rest of the evening. By 11 o'clock, the rain just about gone, the last of the showers clearing the coast. Fog could be an issue throughout the evening, and by late tonight into tomorrow morning, some towns get at or below freezing, so there could be some icy and slippery spots developing for the commute, especially southern New Hampshire, central Massachusetts, western Massachusetts. As you have the greater Boston area down toward the Cape, we should stay above 32 for tonight. So we'll start tomorrow out in the 30s. Sunrise is at 7:11. Watching some early fog and icy spots. Then some of those clouds will melt away. We'll get into the sunshine. Another really pleasant afternoon. 45 degrees at midday lunch. Probably walk around outside, grab lunch tomorrow. And then as we get toward the evening, we're staying in the 40s. Some increasing cloudiness ahead of our next weather system. So we've been watching kind of an evolving pattern over the past couple of weeks. Storm track number 1, we've seen multiple little pieces of energy moving up to our west. That always puts us on the mild side. That's what we're seeing tonight. Then we look toward Thursday, a storm track offshore. And that's what we're going to be looking at, where it just barely grazes the coastline. As we head towards Saturday, it's kind of the Goldilocks situation. Will it be just right and close enough where we'll have a snow potential? It's going to be very close to the coast. There's still a chance it could settle out to sea, or we could be looking at a snowfall here across southern New England. Time will tell over the next few days. We'll be able to nail down that part of the forecast. Certainly it's the best shot at giving us some more significant weather. It's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast. Tomorrow, really fine day. Get outside, enjoy it, go for a run outdoors. We head into Thursday, and an ocean storm just barely may clip us with some rain showers, especially Cape Cod and the islands. That would be the highest chance. Very low chance of rainfall west of there. Friday, another fine day in the 40s. Saturday, we'll watch that storm right now. It's right on the cusp. Either way, it doesn't look like a major event. And the real cold doesn't come till later next week.
So we can avoid a major event for now.
You don't want to know? Come on, we got like grass out there. Cover it up.
We need to pace ourselves, Eric.
That's right.
Winter is halfway over today.
That's what I thought.
I love that. I like that. Thank you. New trouble for Justin Bieber today. Police swarmed his home. Officers executed a search warrant as a part of a felony investigation into an egging at a neighbor's house. Yeah, felony. The neighbor claims he has a video of the 19-year-old singer throwing the eggs and causing $20,000 in damage. The amount of damage does rise to the level of making it a felony. Again, keep in mind, it's Beverly Hills. During today's search, though, police say they found cocaine in plain sight. Officers arrested one of Bieber's friends on drug charges.
Ever feel like you should have eyes in the back of your head? Well, now motorcycle riders can, thanks to a new helmet. Take a look at this. For each mile traveled, bikers are 30 times more likely to be in a deadly accident than people in passenger cars. So the makers of this new helmet say it can make all the difference. The built-in display lets you see on either side and behind you.
For the first time in human history, you're actually able to look at a heads-up display virtual image and see through it, as well as 180 degrees behind you and to the sides, all in one quick glance of the eye.
Looks like a good idea, but the Scully helmet isn't cheap. They cost $3,000 each. The company is going to start a test trial in the spring, and tens of thousands of riders have signed up to be a part of the program.
It's like having eyes in the back of your head. That's what you need when you ride a bike. Well, the hot new utensil at many restaurants, a smartphone.
Straight ahead, see how dining out is going high tech. And now here's Jack with a look at what's ahead at 6.
All right, Paul and Jonathan, thank you. Following some breaking news coming out of Somerville at this hour, and new on our 6 o'clock news, the frightening attacks on women there, and the man police believe is responsible. And he said he was an investment genius. His customers call him nothing but a crook. Next, their first chance to confront him face-to-face for his crimes.
Even in rough winter weather, your car goes the extra mile. At Maaco, our locally owned centers make repairs easy, affordable, and reliable. So don't let the weather slow you down. Bring your car to Maaco and let us turn the car you drive back into the car you love. Maaco, America's body shop.
One click on buyatoyota.com and you can find the biggest selection of Toyota inventory. And then see every Toyota special offer there is, even those not seen on TV. Buyatoyota.com, Toyota's official website for deals. There's something delicious coming to your dinner table. New Johnsonville meatballs. Fully cooked, made from only premium cuts of meat, with a flavor you'll be proud to serve your family. Look for new Johnsonville sausage slices and meatballs in the freezer aisle.
A lot goes into making Bosco's authentic Greek yogurt without a lot going into it. Farm fresh milk and fruit picked right from the orchard. In fact, one healthy taste is all it takes to love Bosco's. A lot. Happiness in every spoonful. Bosco's Greek yogurt.
It's the Call of the Wild at the 2014 Boston RV and Camping Expo, January 18th through the 20th at the Boston Convention Center. Shop 3 football fields of RVs and get the best prices from New England's top dealers. Visit BostonRVExpo.com.
Even in rough winter weather, your car goes the extra mile. At Maaco, our locally owned centers make repairs easy, affordable, and reliable. So don't let the weather slow you down. Bring your car to Maaco and let us turn the car you drive back into the car you love. Maaco, America's body shop.
It is our reality. Our phones really never seem to be far from our reach, and now restaurants are embracing the technology. As Carrie Connolly shows us, that means many diners may soon be interacting more with their smartphones than their servers.
Eating out with a side of technology now goes way beyond tablets at the table.
A lot of us are finding now that we're being invited more and more to download apps onto our own smartphones to check our table wait times, to settle up our check, or even in some cases to order.
If I don't have to wave down a server or a waiter to come over and take my credit card, that's a much faster experience and a better customer experience for me.
These apps can also serve up reward points or discounts to repeat customers. But while you're browsing the menu on your phone, restaurant owners may be taking a bite out of your privacy.
They have details on your favorite food, your favorite drink, the frequency that you're coming by.
Others say technology can be an improvement on security.
Having a digital dining app used for ordering or reserving a table or dividing up the check adds more data to the equation, so there's more opportunity to reconstruct what may have happened, if there's any disputes or errors.
A possible security upgrade, but what about a social one?
Sometimes there can be too much digital interaction. You can be buried in your smartphone at a restaurant. It's not a bad idea just to turn that phone off and enjoy the company you're with, enjoy the fine meal.
The consultants say make sure to only download apps from trusted restaurants. I'm Carrie Connolly, WBZ News.
And on that note, that's going to do it for us at 5 o'clock, but there's much more news straight ahead. The news at 6 starts now.
Tracking rain on the way out this evening, plus the chance for snow as we head toward the weekend at another Arctic blast.
AFC Championship tickets for $40 each.
They jumped on it right away, booked their flight.
The fan who thought he scored the deal of a lifetime, and what happened once he placed his order.
Swindled out of millions. The people who say a West Roxbury family stole their savings confronts them in court.
Live from our studios in Boston, WBZ News at 6 starts right now.
Breaking news in the tragic deaths of 2 children found in a hope chest. Good evening, I'm Paula Evan in for Lisa Hughes.
I'm Jack Williams. Prosecutors now confirm the hope chest where Sean and Lexi Monroe were found Sunday night was a Lane hope chest built back in 1939. Lane chests made between 1912 and 1986 were recalled 17 years ago after 6 children died when they were trapped inside the chest. Investigators say the autopsies on the children are not finished yet, but there is no evidence to suggest that this was anything other than a terrible accident. Also breaking at this hour, a warning for women in Somerville. Police say a man matching this sketch has attacked at least 2 women in the Porter and Union Square areas in the last couple of weeks. He may also be responsible for another attack back in November. Now, all of the attacks were after dark. Somerville police are warning women to be aware of their surroundings, and whenever you can, do not walk alone.
Turning to our weather tonight, heavy rain really slowing down the drive home. The rain rolled in just as people hit the road. We have Mobile 4 now live along Route 128 north in the Waltham stretch. Always busy at this time, and we have a few hours of this rain ahead of us. Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here now with his AccuWeather forecast. Eric?
Hey there, Paula. A lot of snow lovers saying, come on, it's mid-January. Couldn't this be some snow coming down? Well, certainly not the case. It is all green on the radar, and some pockets of moderate to heavier rainfall coming down, especially eastern parts of the state. Really, it's right in the 128 and 495 corridors, and then stretching out toward Cape Cod. Pretty good downpour right now, right through Barnstable and over toward Harwich. Brewster seeing some heavier rain. It's going to be a slow drive. A lot of folks calling in the car and saying, we're going to be a little bit late for dinner tonight. Now, we track things out for the next several hours. 8 p.m., we're still in it. Showers will be continuing. By the time we get toward 9 and 10 o'clock, starting to wrap things up a little bit. Still a few showers holding on. By 10 and 11, all of it starts to head out to sea. We'll see some clearing, but also a redevelopment of some fog overnight. So low visibility, wet streets for this evening. By tomorrow morning, down near the freezing marks. We'll also watch some icy spots, especially just off to the north and west of Boston. We're watching a couple more storms close to the coast over the next few days. We'll talk about the potential there coming up in about 10 minutes. Jack?
Thank you, Eric. Now to the AFC Championship game, which you'll see right here on WBZ, your official home for the Patriots in the playoff. And the matchup, boy, it's a football fan's dream.
Pats, Broncos, Brady, Manning. Peyton Manning has had a record-setting year. 55 touchdown passes, more than 5,400 yards. But Tom Brady is putting up some pretty impressive numbers himself, working with a new crop of receivers, and many believe this year is Brady and Coach Bill Belichick's finest work. Steve Burton's live at CBS scene, and it is certainly true, Steve. No one's going to care how well they did if they don't come home from Denver with a win.
It's all about the W. There's no question about that. You know, Brady and Manning will go down as two of the greatest quarterbacks ever. There's no question about that. But, of course, Peyton, he was expected to be there. He was the #1 pick overall. As for Brady, well, he had to work his way to stardom. Let's not forget, he was a 6th-round pick in the draft. That is hard to believe. Brady, a 6th-round pick. In Bill Belichick's conference call with the media today, check this out. He talked about how players at the bottom of the roster and on the practice squad have to prepare every day as if they're going to play that week. And the Pats head coach said no one did that better as a rookie than number 12 himself.
Brady, I put him #1 on that when he was a scout team quarterback and didn't play in 2000 and all that. That's how you become a better football player. You take advantage of those opportunities, and then you take advantage of those opportunities in game situations, and then that's how you can start to develop a niche and a role.
WBZ will have it all on Sunday, starting with a special 90-minute edition of Patriots Game Day at 11:30. Pats and Broncos kick off at 3, followed by the 5th quarter postgame show, all here on WBZ. In just a few minutes, coming up in sports, we'll have Patriots All Access. They're going to show you a sneak peek of Bill Belichick's speech after they won the game back on Saturday night. You don't want to miss this. That's coming up. Jack, it's coming back to you, my friend.
We'll look forward to that, Steve. Thank you very much. You know, tickets for this game are the highest for an AFC Championship in years. Now, right now, the average price that they're asking, some $798 is the average. There are some cheaper seats. I hate to use the word cheap, at $365. And if you really want to bust the old bank account, here's the deal for you, $3,800, but the tickets are for the 30-yard line. One fan thought he'd really scored a big bargain. He found this listing on StubHub. 2 tickets for $40 each. But as Paul Burton shows us, he soon ran into a big problem.
It's very exciting. It's a very big game.
29-year-old Jake Duhane is a diehard Patriots fan. Speaking to us from New York via Skype, Jake said on Sunday he scored 2 tickets to the AFC Championship game on StubHub for $40 each.
When I saw those seats dipping at that price point, that miracle price point, I jumped on it right away, booked a flight.
Soon after, he received another email from StubHub saying the seller made a mistake. The tickets are 10 times that. and his tickets are no good. StubHub promised to refund him the $98 plus an additional coupon.
But at that point, you book a flight, you want to go to the game.
Determined not to give up, Jake turned to Twitter to voice his disappointment. WBZ spoke with Jake and also reached out to StubHub for an explanation.
We have to give the seller a chance to pick the seller's tickets, so we need to let them go take the approach of reposting them the way they intended to post them.
A few hours later, StubHub emailed Jake. The company is giving him his money back and giving him the 2 tickets for free, saying, "We are happy to provide you with these tickets so you can attend what I'm sure will be an incredible game."
There's a happy ending. They gave me the tickets for free. I'm pumped.
It is definitely handled on a case-by-case basis, and we do what we can to make it right.
I love using them. They're so great. They've been so great to me over the years. Love telling the story of a once-in-a-lifetime deal rather than the guy who had that taken away from him.
In Boston, I'm Paul Burton, WBZ News.
By the way, Dan Rose traveling to Denver. He'll report live starting tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Only on WBZ, your official home for the Patriots in the playoffs.
Patriots owner Robert Kraft attended the funeral today for a brave young man who truly inspired the team. Sam Burns, a Foxborough boy, suffered from progeria, a syndrome which causes rapid aging. He died on Friday. He was just 17 years old. Burns met Mr. Kraft last year and was supposed to be an honorary captain at Saturday night's game. School kids from Foxborough also attended today's service at Temple Israel in Sharon, and the Boston Bruins will honor Sam tonight with a moment of silence.
Well, it was a family business. Unfortunately, it was fleecing investors out of millions of dollars. Today, 3 people who say their lives were ruined by a West Roxbury family described the devastation, as our chief correspondent Joe Shortsleeve shows us.
You ever think about the people you've hurt? You ever think about how you preyed upon the most vulnerable people in our society? The elderly, the divorcees, the people who didn't have the skills to go online and check the websites.
While 56-year-old Stephen Palladino and his wife and son listened, investor after investor told the judge how the West Roxbury family ran an elaborate Ponzi scheme for years known as Viking Financial. In the process, prosecutors say the Palladinos bilked some 42 people out of more than $10 million, all to support an excessive and elaborate lifestyle.
He took the check and he spent it the way that he's been spending the money since I've known him. Going to casinos, gambling, spending it on his girlfriends, plural, I found out.
Stephen Palladino indicated to the judge he might be willing to plead guilty. If he does, the judge says she'll impose a sentence of 10 to 12 years. His wife and son would get a much lighter sentence. But Palladino did not plead guilty and instead walked out of court today to think it over.
Why are you willing to admit you beat people out?
I thought it was a very clear process, and as I said from the beginning, my main focus is restitution. That's all I have to say.
Palladino, his wife and son will be back here on January the 21st. On that day, they will either plead guilty or go to trial. At Boston Suffolk Superior Court, Joe Schwartzer, WBZ News.
The former president of a disabled veterans organization was charged today with looting the charity. Prosecutors say that Richard Trott stole $125,000 from Disabled American Veterans Incorporated. Prosecutors say that Trott transferred money into his own accounts, wrote out checks to himself, and withdrew money from the charity's account. Coming up on WBZ News, the marathon bombing suspects fight for a fair trial, and the victory he just scored in court.
And like he said he would do, he shot and killed Joshua and then committed suicide.
A mother describing the day her son was murdered. Next, why she's reliving the most painful moment of her life in a very public way.
Plus, a moment in history uncovered. The emotional message from Jackie Kennedy, unseen for 50 years.
And after a very wet evening today, we're tracking a couple close calls as we head through the rest of this week and into the weekend. We've got the timeline, what we're expecting coming up.
Sure, most glasses will improve your vision, but the right glasses are an extension of your personality. Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks, where you'll find more than a pair of glasses. You'll find a better you.
I like the way you move. I like the way you give me so much fun.
Road-gripping, symmetrical, all-wheel drive, standard. The Outback was awarded Top Safety Pick Plus by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. Drive home a brand new Subaru Outback. Well equipped at $23,795.
They say you can't buy happiness. I got it for a bargain. Since we left FiOS and switched to Xfinity, we get more speed for less money. That's a big deal, especially for the one paying the bills. Now everyone can do what they want, all at the same time. And way faster. One big happy family.
More doesn't have to cost more. Switch to Xfinity Internet from Comcast for $29.99 a month for 12 months. And get the fastest in-home Wi-Fi for all rooms, all devices, all the time. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
At My Bob's, you get the best value for your money.
The Alexa sofa and love seat at only $7.99 proves it.
You can't have the best value without great quality.
You got that covered.
And of course, choice.
Choice is key.
Choose from 9 special order colors, delivered in 21 days or less. Only $39.99 more.
Black.
Cocoa.
Chocolate.
Cornflower.
Berry.
Agave.
Buckwheat.
Pool.
Cognac.
Quality, choice.
And a Bobble-Rama of value.
I'm Nate Pusey, Managing Director of Corporate Lending at Commerce Bank. I know how important it is to bank with a commercial bank who makes all of their loan decisions locally. I've been lending in the New England market for 25 years and would like to invite you to do business with us at Commerce Bank. We're committed to our customers. If you need a real estate loan, an equipment loan, line of credit, or any other commercial banking service, please call me, Nate Pusey at Commerce Bank, because I'd love to work with you.
Because I'm always on the go. I'm a AAA member, but these days I do more than drive. I cruise with AAA. Caribbean cruises, Alaska, Europe, and thanks to AAA, I cruise in style when I shop at my favorite stores, even online. AAA saves me hundreds on everything for the trip, including prescription refills before we leave. The best part about my AAA membership, I enjoy the peace of mind and the savings.
Call 1-800-JOIN-AAA or join at AAA.com. Membership for life.
Cambridge Eye Doctors is now VisionWorks. Get 2 complete pairs for $99 or 2 pairs of no-line bifocals for $179. Find more than a pair of glasses. Find a better you. VisionWorks.
Well, some are claiming a legal victory today for marathon bombing suspect Johar Tsarnaev. A judge has eliminated the deadline for Tsarnaev to request a change in his trial location. His defense team is supposed to make his decision on that request by the end of February. His attorneys argue they needed more time because Attorney General Eric Holder won't decide until the end of this month whether they are going to seek the death penalty against him.
A New Hampshire mother relived her most painful moments today. Becky Rain's son Joshua was murdered over the summer by his father during a supervised visit. Rains is now hoping to help other families avoid her pain. New Hampshire Bureau Chief Michael Rosenfield is live in Manchester. Michael?
Paula, her goal is to get this bill passed. It has to do with domestic violence. Her personal story is the driving force. Becky Rains walked into a packed hearing to be the key witness in a domestic violence bill.
He was my pride and joy.
Her son, Joshua Savion, just 9 years old, was shot and killed by his father, Muni Savion, during a supervised visit at the YWCA in Manchester last summer.
Words cannot express how much I miss him, but today I speak for Joshua.
Rains testified today in support of Senate Bill 318, which would establish domestic violence as a crime.
I am here today because I am a survivor of domestic violence, but the real reason I am here is that my son, Joshua, is not.
Right now, defendants in domestic violence type cases are charged with various crimes like assault, and supporters of the bill say that needs to change.
There's 2 reasons that's important. First, it will help law enforcement and courts respond more effectively to these cases, but also it will help victims recognize that what has happened to them is a crime and that help is available.
Rains, who was comforted by supporters today, won't ever know if a law like this would have saved her son's life.
My hope is that if what happened in my family makes people take a closer look at how we handle these situations, then some good will come out of this, and Joshua will live on in spirit by helping others who are suffering this silent crime.
Supporters of the bill hope it will be called Joshua's Law. They'd like to see the New Hampshire House and Senate pass it at some point this year. We're live in Manchester, New Hampshire tonight. Michael Rosenfield, WBZ News. Back to Jack and Paula.
All right, Michael, our thoughts go out to that mother. It's just terrible story. Let's get to the weather, and boy, it's been a gloomy one today.
It's been one of those commutes. We have Mobile 4 live on 128 South in Waltham for this next hour. You know, that's when you just crawl along there about exit 26 and 25 in Waltham. Eric Fisher, come on in. This rain is going to continue throughout the evening, huh?
Unfortunately, it's going to be one of those slow slogs home, but it's not freezing rain. At least it's not snow really slowing things down. Someone just checked it on Twitter, said they went to Andover, it took them 40 or 60 minutes, when it usually takes them 40 minutes. You're adding almost 20 to 30, depending on your commute time. We've got one storm on the East Coast, another one. You see this all curled up around the Great Lakes. This one weakens as it heads toward us, so not really a big concern in our forecast. We're just watching the rain fall out there this evening. Heaviest of which from Portland right down I-95 and heading out toward the Cape. And we're looking at generally some pretty good downpours around, say, Chatham, reaching up into Provincetown and Truro, Nantucket, seeing some heavier rain. Everywhere you slice it, it's going to be a very slow drive. And not just with the rain, there are areas of fog, locally dense developing outside. We've got half-mile visibility in Keene, 1 mile in Nashua, about a half mile in Lawrence. So in pockets, it looks like, especially in southern New Hampshire, just going to be a slow your roll kind of night, making sure you're safe on the roads. No ice a factor until very late tonight. We track things out over the next several hours. Still mild in the 40s at 8 o'clock and still watching those showers. They're just about all gone by 11 p.m. Maybe a lingering shower for Cape Ann and Cape Cod. That would be about it. Fog sticks around through the evening, and by late tonight into tomorrow morning, few towns will drop back around the freezing mark, if not a little bit below. So we'll watch for some of those slippery spots lingering into tomorrow morning's drive. And that includes much of central Massachusetts, across Worcester County, southern New Hampshire, and western Massachusetts. If you're in the greater Boston corridor and down toward the Cape, probably won't get down to 32 degrees tonight. So ice, not a concern there. So we look forward to our day on Wednesday. The commute will be generally mild, 38 degrees. I mean, you get that this time of year. Take it all the way to the bank. We head toward midday, fine afternoon. You can walk outside for lunch in the 40s with a good amount of sunshine. And for the evening, some clouds will start to roll back in. The sun sets at 4:37, but we are dry as drive home tomorrow. Should be a little bit less in the headache department. Kind of a huge turnaround. You look at 1 week compared to the next. You know, last week we had 88 hours below the freezing mark, day and night. And now we're on a streak where we've been above 32 degrees for 96 hours and counting. And that's going to keep on going perhaps through Friday, at least as far as Boston's concerned. Now, the pattern for tomorrow, we've got this little slot between storms. Our front from today is offshore. That storm we showed you around Chicago, weakening and pulling up toward Canada. That's why we'll see a decent amount of sunshine and dry weather. Thursday, the next storm, close, but probably just a little too far to the east to give a significant impact. A few showers, Boston area, Cape Cod, that would be about it. And then on Friday, another day, we're between weather systems. It's Saturday that we'll watch. The next low comes up the coast. This one looks close enough to give us some snowfall on Saturday. Right now, it doesn't look like a big snow event, but something we definitely need to keep our eye on as we get through the next few days. And a sign of course, the cooling temperatures. And a check on the Patriots, boy, sunny and mild, 58 degrees. It'll be a spring-like game in the Mile High. They can see anything in Denver this time of year. Here's your AccuWeather 7-day forecast heading through the rest of this week. It's mainly dry after tonight. Again, maybe a shower as we head toward Thursday afternoon. As we head towards Saturday, we'll watch that coastal storm. It will be a close call. By Sunday, snow squalls with a cold front moving through, and then colder to start next week. A high of 33, back to where we started the month of January. Paul and Jack, back to you.
Eric, thanks so much. So by Tuesday night here, we can officially start getting excited. This game.
I got to say, I think most of New England has just been perpetually excited on a great performance this year by our Patriots. Steve Burton is down in Foxborough right now to bring us up to date. Steve.
Jack and Paula, I'm home away from home, CBS scene. Today, Bill Belichick said he still hasn't decided whether the team's going to leave on Friday or Saturday to go to Denver. I think the Patriots would rather leave on Friday. WBZ is the official home of your New England Patriots. And here's a preview of this week's Patriots All Access. We're going to take you inside the locker room after the Colts win.
Way to go, man. Way to go, man. Way to go, man. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
That was awesome.
This is my Twin Towers. My Twin Towers.
Hey, thank you.
Appreciate it. Congratulations, man. It's a great job. All three phases, we had contributions from everybody. Damn good job. Games are just getting bigger now. Just getting bigger. It's how we play. It's how we prepare. Congratulations. That's a damn good job, okay? That was a good football team coming off that win last week. But we got them early, all right? And we stayed on top all the way through. But how do we feel about our third AFC Championship appearance in a row?
Hey, you just cannot get enough of that stuff. When the Patriots picked up the Garrett Blount from Tampa this summer, No one expected him to become the workhorse for a playoff run. Bill Belichick didn't really know Blanc before making the trade, but his former Tampa teammate, Akeem Talib, put in a good word for him.
I think that, was something that I didn't really have a good way to measure or find out, but Keith cleared that up for me in a very positive way.
Win number 12.
And if the Pats decide to have Tom Brady air it out this weekend, this will help their cause. Broncos quarterback Chris Harris tore his ACL on Sunday and is done for the season. No coincidence that the Chargers passing game really picked up once he left the game in the third quarter.
There's no doubt he's probably one of our better performers on defense throughout this season. But to be the same, we've lost some pretty good performers throughout the season, and this team's been resilient, and we'll take a next man up approach.
Well, one big question the Patriots are facing right now, the status of punter Ryan Allen, who hurt his shoulder on a botch punch Saturday night and had to leave the game. Today, Bill Belichick wouldn't shed any light on Allen's situation, saying they'll put out the injury report tomorrow, the Patriot way. Again, be sure to catch a special playoff edition of Patriots All Access Saturday night at 7, live from Denver, right here on WBZ. And WBZ will have it all Sunday, starting with a special 90-minute edition of Patriots Game Day at 11:30. Pats and Broncos kick off at 3, followed by the fifth quarter post-game show, all here on WBZ. The Bruins are back in action tonight. They take on the Toronto Maple Leafs at the Garden, and Celtics head coach Brad Stevens said he wouldn't be surprised if Rajon Rondo makes his debut on Friday night against the Lakers. A lot going on here in New England. Jack and Paula, back to you.
Yeah, the Celtics can use him. All right, Steve, thanks a lot.
The CBS Evening News is coming up at 6:30.
And once again, Scott Pelley joins us live from New York City with a preview. Scott.
Jack, Lisa, great to be with you in Boston. Right at the top of the broadcast, we're going to show video that has never been seen publicly before of the immediate moments after the crash of that jumbo jet at San Francisco International last summer. Key question in that crash is how did a passenger who survived the crash end up being killed by a fire truck? We have the video from the fire truck, and it gives us a lot of clues as to what the firemen knew in those early moments of the emergency. We'll have that and the rest of the world news for you coming up on the CBS Evening News in about 10 minutes.
We'll be watching. Scott, thanks. Still to come, helping drivers navigate the Callahan Tunnel closure, the relief plan that actually made delays worse.
So what is it you really do again?
I help people. Warning. Someone wants to make sure you don't make it off this plane alive. The next person of interest. I told you, no more missions.
I did not send you.
Don't put me on this flight.
Who are you?
Concerned frequent flyer.
He's taking us down.
Bitch, we're going down. Oh, dear.
A new person of interest. CBS Tonight, 10/9 Central.
A wet basement can be a homeowner's worst nightmare. CrackX, industry leader in foundation crack repair, solves concrete problems permanently and affordably. Call us for a free estimate or visit us at crackx.com. CrackX, 25 years of stopping leaks, guaranteed.
Sports Final just got bigger.
Ultimately, that's what's most important, winning the ball game.
Roosevelt Colvin joins Sports Final Sundays at 11:35 only on WBZ. Rosie's Recap is brought to you by the UPS Store. We love small business. We love logistics.
A man pioneers a way to see the unseen, leading to radar, forever providing early warnings and safer journeys. The conviction to create a safer journey is the Mazda way. The Mazda 6 uses radar, lasers, and sensors to detect objects and even apply the brakes for you. Introducing the modern sports sedan, the Mazda 6. What do you drive?
Bridgewater State University, serving the community, opening doors, expanding the reach of higher education.
The Bridge program at BSU has changed these students' lives. They're on a college campus working towards a dream. It has completely changed my life that I'm helping them achieve those dreams.
What we do in the STEM program is work together to find solutions. Our goal is to help students overcome, give them a different perspective on their lives. And we do this through icebreakers, team building, helps them gain a greater understanding of themselves.
For me, feel comfortable about talking a lot in front of people. It's helped me grow. I'm giving back to the community.
My involvement in the Daughter States Ice program has changed my career. Special education is something I'd like to pursue. I think that I've learned more from these students than they may have learned from me.
I feel more confident to work on reaching my goals.
Bridgewater State, your community's university.
Are you ready for the biggest deal of the season? Our entire lineup of furniture now available with 0% financing for 60 months. Or get a playoff bonus. We'll pay your tax and we'll pay for your delivery. But don't sit on the bench. It all ends Monday night. Don't miss the deal of the season, only at Bernie and Phil's Furniture.
The Supreme Court will hear arguments tomorrow on whether Massachusetts buffer zone law is legal. The law forces anti-abortion protesters to stay 35 feet away from the entrances to clinics. It was passed partly in response to the deadly shootings at 2 clinics by John Salvi back in 1994.
Well, it turns out that a traffic change designed to help ease the pain of the Callahan Tunnel closure actually made things a whole lot worse. MassDOT started opening the HOV lane on the Southeast Expressway 2 hours earlier in the afternoon. Unfortunately, not many people were taking advantage of the change. That means the traffic was tied up on the expressway northbound. What a mess. MassDOT will now open the lane at 2 in the afternoon until the old Callahan reopens.
For the first time in 50 years, we're seeing the message Jackie Kennedy delivered to the American people after her husband's assassination.
I want to take this opportunity to express my appreciation for the hundreds of thousands of messages, nearly 800,000 in all, which my children and I have received over the past few weeks.
That message, recorded and delivered in January of 1964, is now part of the JFK Presidential Library's historical collection. The library now also has the condolence letters sent to the First Lady after the assassination.
And a reminder just how classy that lady was. Wow. We'll be right back.
Where can you find the biggest selection of brand name furniture around? In the furniture capital of New England. Greater Gardner Furniture Outlets. A smarter way to shop for furniture.
Throughout the course of time, competition defines character until only one is left standing. But once in a lifetime comes an event the likes of which the world has never seen. Champions from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s compete for $1 million. Get ready for a tournament 30 years in the making. Jeopardy! Battle of the Decades.
Can't we just say it's gonna be good?
It all starts this February.
Report a claim. Pay your bill. Safety's mobile app is just one more way we help you manage life's storms. For auto, home, and business, ask your independent agent about safety insurance.
Love to ski but hate the drive?
Ski Bradford.
15 trails, 100% snowmaking.
Lessons for all ages.
Snack bar, rentals, large base lodge.
Ski Bradford. Ski close to home.
Right now at National Forest Direct, you can get an entire house of name brand carpeting, padding, and next day installation for just $15.88. It's that simple. Your living room, dining room, hallway, and 3 bedrooms of carpet completely installed for just $15.88. Call 888-400-FLOOR for a free in-home estimate.
1 ticket, 500 rides. The New England Auto Show, presented by Amica Insurance in the Boston Globe, January 16th through the 20th at the Boston Convention Center. Learn more at bostonautoshow.com.
1 is the loneliest number that you'll ever do. 2 can be as bad as 1.
Running low? Then it's the perfect time for Stop & Shop's gigantic stock-up sale. Save on thousands of real deals, 10 for 10 offers, and buy one get one free deals. So shop big, save big during Stop & Shop's gigantic stock-up sale.
The Toyota Avalon. Can such extraordinary beauty be put into words? Words like luxury, innovation, even 40 mpg. With our flagship sedan, Yes, the Toyota Avalon, our most beautiful creation ever. Toyota, let's go places.
Ride into 2014 in style. At Foxwoods Resort Casino, you can win a luxurious Mercedes CLA on January 20th. Guaranteed winner. Earn entries through January 19th. Plus bring the family to our outdoor skating rink and winter patio. And get your tickets now for Superstar Robin Thicke, March 1st. Hear all your favorite hits like Give It To You, Blurred Lines, and more live. It's a brand new year at the new Foxwoods Resort Casino.
So the rain winds down later tonight?
By about 10 o'clock, we're going to wave y'all clear flag, but the fog sticks around tonight, so kind of just slow driving conditions. Got to play it safe. All right,
Yeah, gloomy day, but at least it wasn't a freezing rain. Wouldn't that have been a mess?
That is the worst, absolute worst thing. Much too warm for that this time around.
Thank heavens, and we're halfway through winter. I thought that was the same.
Meteorological winter. People get confused by this. December, January, February. That's weather winter.
I love it. That does it for us. Have a great night tonight.
I'll see you right back here for WBZ News at 11.